everybody. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. And we have a fantastically mighty issue of Thor to review for you today. Is the 5th issue in this latest revamped run of Al Ewing's meta Thor story. And we're very excited to talk about it today with the full squad. We are here. This is our Christmas gift to you. All four of us felt like this issue necessitated the four of us getting together for you to unwrap this Christmas week. So we are going to go around real quick, just give kind of that first impression, then we'll dig into the book and we'll give you more of our thoughts as we go. So Eric, first impression of Thor 5. We're coming off of our Midgard little one-shot story with Magni and Ulick. We're back on Midgard. What was your first impressions of this one?
Getting a lot of police procedural stuff, but we're also getting a lot of, it's an information dump. We're getting a lot of information from Odin, from Loki, from sort of talking about the Thor situation from the third person point of view. So really, really interesting. Not a lot of fighting, but some things that are setting up what the next probably 10 issues are going to be about. So interesting.
Yeah, this was definitely the issue where we're giving a lot of information for sure. Eric, Will, what were your first impressions of this issue?
Yeah, so Thor 791 was a good comic. I love that we got our regular creative team. We got the art. Joe Spino worked his butt off on this one because there's a lot of words, a lot of word bubble, a lot of information. I do feel like this is issue number 5, so it is a lot of setup and dialogue and words and a lot of action. So I feel like the next one, if they're going to break down the first 6 issues of the Mortal Thor into a graphic novel, this was one that's going to lead to the next one that's going to be the climactic first story arc. If they're going to do a 6-issue graphic novel that comes out, not sure. But I'm going to confess that I'm a little confused, I'm a little lost, but I'm still intrigued. It's like the second act of a Knives Out movie where I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm still invested.
Faz, what about you?
Just jumping on that. Maybe the next Thor issue will be set in a church. Who knows? And we'll have to see what happens. Just like Knives Out. Yeah,
that's right. And maybe there'll be a resurrection or dialogue between faith and reason. Because
maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
I was thinking, and now listeners, we know that Mortal Thor is going to be 25, just like a Mortal Thor was. And after the first 3 or 4, I was really enjoying myself, but I thought to myself, how are they going to get 25 issues out of this idea? The interplay between what Odin and Loki are doing and what Sigurd is doing makes perfect sense to how this can go to 25 very easily. You've got 3 stories that won't make it to 25 on their own, but you've got 3 stories that put together the Asgard story, the Odin Loki spell thing, fixing the trap or whatever you want to call it, and Sigurd's story. That is all juicy, and we're going to get a lot out of all of that. So it's a very, 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 I'm hooked. I really like where this went. Fairy's art is really kind of hitting its stride now, and I'm really enjoying where we're going.
So I love it. I think this one, the strongest point here that I really felt as well was Eric's insight of it's a kind of this is like the procedural one. Mm-hmm. We're setting up what's going to happen next. This was not the fighting guys on the high steel with a bungee cord hammer, and this was very much the aftermath issue. So okay, I was like, okay, I'm not one of those Tom King, Jonathan Hickman, just give me a block of text that I can chew on. That is not where my mind immediately goes. We know you hate Hickman, Ryan. It's fine. We're setting up things that I know I'm going to like when they pay off. So that's what I liked about this. And also the end part where Blake gets involved. I really enjoyed that as well because it was kind of a cool bit of art from Pasquale to see in those last few pages. So I'm going to jump in
real fast. Like there's small detail, like the comic book medium of storytelling. I love the small details in the art. So you have Odin in the diner with Loki, but I love that Odin has just a small cup of coffee and Loki has a big milkshake. But the coffee looks like
an espresso for Odin.
Yeah, but it's like an eyeball. The first panel is like an eye, a seeing eye. If you look there on that page, and I love that you're looking directly into an eyeball with that. And then, and then you have like Kristen when he encounters Kristen and talks to her. They when he calls her Kristen, she kind of softly says, "You mean Chris? Why aren't you calling me by my pet name or whatever?" You can see in her eyes, like the art there, how she's looking at him. If Blake says the eyes are windows to the soul, in this thing, you can see in their eyes how she's seen, whether it's Odin or whether it's Loki or whether it's Kristen. The eyes tell a lot in this story. And I really like that. That's kind of what they've done with the issue and the small details with that.
Or the lack of an eye.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was also such a little Thor thing for Sigurd to do, where she's like, "I've given you a nickname. You don't need to call me my whole name." And he's like, "Oh, of course, Eric, son of Teski," or whatever. He would never go for the short
son
name.
Of Teski. Will, Lord of Roses. I just want to give a few of the details about the issue, and then we will dig into a little bit of a synopsis, and we will we'll rock and roll with a few more specific thoughts on parts of the issue. The issue is entitled "Thy Soul to Take," written by Al Ewing, art by Pascal Ferry, color artist Matt Milla, and that's not Miller, and I'm trying to be cool. It's Matt Milla. Milla. Lettered by VC's Joe Sabino, friend of the show and all-around good guy. Cover art by the amazing Alex Ross. Great cover of a kind of a visual standoff of Blake and Thor in front of a wall hanging, a giant painting of Thor fighting the Midgard Serpent. I really enjoyed that cover. And Baz, I'm going to go broad. So we're going to fill in details, but I'm sure you will not let me get away with anything. We start off the issue. He's staring right at me, everybody. I'm hesitant. We start off the issue picking up where we left off with Odin and Loki. They're having a conversation in a diner. Odin's interrogating Loki and his plan, and Loki is kind of counterpointing the things that Odin is saying. Odin ends this conversation by essentially saying, "Hey, clean up your mess, because if I have to come back and do more of this, you're going to get a different version of this conversation."
Ryan, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to cut you off right there. Just as I've been doing in all of these, and for the same reason, you got to talk about the sassy bird. You didn't talk about it in Doctor Strange. Now you're not talking about it here. Odin's Raven here is judging the fuck out of Loki, just
literally,
like it was
judgment.
Just like it was judging Doctor Strange. Literally, judgment! Don't forget the birds. I don't know if it's Yugen or Munin, but I know that they're watching you because you're not referencing them. Look out your window right now. It's right there. You should start running.
Oh my God. So we kind of jump back to Sigurd's situation where he's in the police department. And this is where, like Eric said, we're getting a little bit of a police procedural. Two detectives are interrogating him and he's waiting for a lawyer. And then that lawyer finally shows up and he is fabulous. He looks like Plastic Man almost, with the hair and the bow tie. And he does a little bit of I was going to say legal mumbo jumbo, but I felt like that might have been maybe not well received. Faz, can you maybe make sense of a little bit of what this lawyer walks in and does? Because I don't even know where to begin explaining that part.
Yeah. So what he says is he has like what is he called? A memorandum or something? It's got the commissioner's signature basically saying, "Leave my guy alone. He's getting off without any sort of he's safe for whatever reason," is what he's doing here. It's a memorandum of understanding between the commissioner and this lawyer. This lawyer is a fancy, high-powered lawyer, which is great because Sigurd was waiting for Chris to have her friend lawyer to come and help him. So very clearly the friend is coming to help, right, Eric? Is that what's going
on? Kenneth Krask is a lawyer in Marvel Comics. Their law firm attempted to sue the city of New York for sending Code Blue instead of the Avengers one time. So this lawyer already exists in the Marvel universe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Kenneth
and again,
Krask. Wow.
Must be there to help out Sigurd because Chris was coming to bail him out. That's what's going on.
And like Faz said, like he's a high-powered lawyer, but Chris was bringing like a public defender level guy. So it's like, okay. And Sigurd wonders, well, if this isn't the lawyer, then who do you work for and why are you here? Sigurd is led into this limousine just outside, and that's where we see Blake for the first time in the issue. And he has a little bit of a conversation with Sigurd that ends with him doing like a gas trick from his cane, and Sigurd's eyes start burning. And then Blake turns to us, the reader, and his eyes are hollowed out like we've seen in the past. Blake having the venom of the serpent stuck in his eyes, and that's where I think Fairy's art was personally the best in this issue for me. And that's where we get the title card, and we leave Sigurd laid out in the limo with Blake all gooey-eyed and menacing over him. Now, Faz, you're gonna finish out the hosting duties on this episode. I am needed elsewhere in the Nine Realms, so I just wanted to say real quick, sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of exposition heavy issues, but also, like I said earlier, I love what we're setting up, and I like that Blake is almost like a crime boss. I like this kind of mastermind version of him. He's not just like, he's the weaker, wimpier version of Thor. I actually feel like we're seeing a different characterization from Blake.
It's almost like he's the god of lies now.
And yep. And I feel like we're actually giving him some menace and a reason why our guy Sigurd should be fearful of this. Sigurd does say one other thing in here that kind of makes me want to lean more into his mastermind qualities, is that he's like, oh yeah, all those guys I sent to fight you on the construction site, if they had all beaten you, like, you would not have been the guy I was looking for. And so it was almost like he was literally sending Sigurd a test, and he passed the test and is like, now on to the next test. And it's gooey eye socket time. And that's just for your face alone. That's why I keep saying.
What a way to end your time on this podcast, right?
Everybody, I have aboard the Rainbow
See you in the
Bridge.
new year. May all your eyes be gooey.
May all your eyes be gooey.
My son, I've sent the Bifrost. If you raise your hands, you will be transported to where you need to go, Ryan. Thank you for your time. So the other thing that's worth mentioning, guys, Ryan just flew away by Rainbow, is Al is not beating the allegations that he's taking every weird part of Thor continuity and making it useful. He is here now. We had this hanging fruit of what's going on with Donald Blake in the last run because Donnie unfortunately couldn't finish it. And Al is really making a meal out of what's going on there in a way that's extremely interesting. Now, if you guys were to hear before Al took over that one of the main points of his second giant arc will be Donald Blake is back, he's the god of lies, and he's mucking up Loki's plans, how would you have reacted at the time? Will, Eric, what do you guys think of the next big bad?
I'm trying to put together, I guess the reason I was saying how I'm a little lost is just like Odin's saying that Sigurd is not his son, not Thor. And so is he being tricked or being, is he not? And that's what they're playing around with in this. Is like, no, Thor's dead. This is just another version of somebody from somewhere, kind of, and Loki is kind of like, well, is the one who changed up this story and the original intentions of Odin to begin with. So their conversation is neat, and you got to pay attention to what's going on. I don't know what to believe or not believe in terms of this dialogue. So that's kind of where I'm waiting when I say it's the second act of a murder mystery. I really do feel that way, that I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who done it. I don't know who's what, but I'm invested and I'm interested to see what happens next.
I mean, it's clear, I think, at this point that the mortal soul of Donald Blake is the thing that is fueling Sigurd Jarlson.
Yeah.
The question, though, is he a human reincarnation of Thor? Which is, we've seen Sigurd getting those visions about, this is what I stand for, you need to do these things for me, so on and so forth. But Odin is clearly like, that's not my guy. You've done something here, Loki. And whether that means he's just ruined what Odin sees as Thor in Odin's eyes, or if it's truly some secret third thing that's going to result in something down the road, I think it remains to be seen. But I love the idea that Loki has this perfectly planned out plan. It's all going according to plan, and then their dad shows up and is like, this isn't going according to plan at all. You're just making this up as it's going along, and it's all breaking, and you're trying to band-aid this. You're putting lipstick on a pig, and if you mess up anymore, I'm going to come, and I'm not going to be happy. Eric, what do you think? What's your perception? Is Sigurd Thor? Is Sigurd his own thing? What's going on here?
They're doing something that I love in Thor comics, and that is ye old shell game. And it's definitely a, where's the soul? Whose soul is where? That's classic Thor, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually, I'm glad that we're debriefing about this, because with the Serpent Cane, I thought Donald Blake was trying to steal the soul. He just gassed him. So maybe he's going to try to take his soul later. I thought he was like sucking the soul out of him at first.
I think the line "death would have been so much easier" implies that if he died, he might have just gotten the soul back. But because he's still alive, he's going to get to do some painful way of extracting it.
So Donald Blake definitely wants to get his soul back, and the soul is in Sigurd Jarlson. And I think that just the way that Al Ewing is sprinkling in the references to, like, that is not my son, this is not the real Thor. You wouldn't say that if you were going to then double back on it and be like, just kidding, it's really Thor. Like, I think it really is not him. It's some different thing completely. Gotcha. But it's really interesting that Odin is, judging him like he needs to learn humility. So there's a lot of parallels. And Odin is like watching this human, this mortal, to see if he like lives up to the mantle, maybe. But it's definitely not Odinson inside a human body. I don't think so.
It's also it's getting more and more Norse the more that Al's involved here. Like, Odin's not a Arthurian king on a throne. He's a wanderer seeking knowledge, and he's finally back kind of as Odin One Eye, the way that he was originally meant to be in the Eddas, right?
Badass as hell. It's awesome. It's a fantastic way to deal with Odin, of like, what are we going to do with him? This could be the next, 10 years of Odin. This is a perfect direction of like, if we're not going to go back to father son ruling Asgard, what are we going to do with Odin to not kill him off and hide him somewhere, make it so that they can use him whenever they want to now. They can bring him back whenever it's useful, which is just such they're doing the same thing with Freya too. So it's like, it's such a useful way to sort of park them temporarily and bring them back whenever they're relevant to the story. And
it's a great way. Like, I think they did it a bit with Burry too, where like grandfather is just up watching, and if something goes wrong, he'll pop in and help out. But otherwise, this isn't his game anymore. He's retired. I like that they kept the like, am I not omnipotent here? Like, I can leave Valhalla whenever I want. Can't go back now, but I walked out. I didn't do anything crazy to get out. I left. I built that frickin' place. I didn't hire some giants to do it. I built it with my own two hands and my Mjolnir, probably, because that's canon now, right? That he had it first.
Which we don't know if it's Odin boasting or if it's another retcon of Roy Thomas's content. But that's in Thor 294. Odin definitely hires Fafnir and Fasolt, the storm giants, to build Valhalla for him. You literally see them building it. And so, but the Roy Thomas stuff, it's just, we can take it or leave it. So
like it.
No, they've got us hooked, guys. Now, I don't know if you guys have looked at what's coming next for Thor, but before we get into that, is there anything else about the issue that we've got in front of us? I mean, I guess we'd be remiss to not mention the Alex Ross cover is gorgeous, like it always is.
And then just the final page, if you can, like the art and the flex of a good final page in a comic to make you see what happens next. And Al's a master at that. He's a pro, and so as it's chugging along, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of talking. Here we go. I don't want to skim. I want to pay attention to what's going on, little details, and you have that final page. You're like, okay, let's it happens in 6.
Donald Blake is an awesome villain because it's a good way to continue using the character, because he is a huge part of Thor's history, right? We don't just want to like never use him again. So this keeps him relevant, but it's a wonderful new direction that really builds off of the things that have been happening. It makes sense. Like, you're going to chain him to a rock and drip venom into his eyes. You're going to have him in this limbo where he comes out and he wants to, kill everybody off. He has his own character arc now, and it's a dramatic status quo change compared to Straczynski that Faz and I are currently reading, right? Where it's like Donald Blake is attractive, charismatic, like
he's like a paragon too.
Right. Yeah. So this is a huge divergence from that, but it's a great way to have Donald Blake stick around in an interesting way.
Is he redeemable? You think there's a way where he comes around and they could be used in a different way, or is he just going to stay a villain? Is there a way to?
I mean, everybody's redeemable eventually. I think they've got to keep him like this for a while, though. He's in a pretty dark spot. It's going to take a bit to get him there.
Yeah.
Now, listeners, you'll also see that there's no letter page this time. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because last time the Owl Father gave us a challenge. He said to send him letters with name pitches for what the letter page will be called. So the fact that there's no letter page here means there's still time, guys. So send in your letters to Al. Send in your letters to them. Tell them what you want it to be called. I think that I think you should think of something fun. I put in the Mortal Missives. I like that. I'm a big alliteration guy. I expect that Hercules and Will think of better things than that, and hopefully we'll get a cool name.
Oh, I send in You Ruve Got Mail, and they didn't take it last time. But I thought that would have been good. So
that is good.
It's kind of hard to say, though. But
yeah, it would look good in writing, though, right? That's the thing. Okay, guys, anything else about this issue, or do you want me to tease what's coming next?
Tease what's coming next.
All right. Well, the next one, Mortal Thor, I should say 6, legacy number 792 for you, Chilliam. In the coils of the Cobra, the man called Thor is only a man. The Cobra is something else. And he's not alone. Donald Blake has sent 4 of Roxxon's deadliest assassins after Sigurd Jarlson, and they won't stop until he quits or he dies. Somewhere in the city, a man with a hammer has a decision to make. Now, this is interesting, listeners, because even further in the solicitations, we can see more classic Thor villains coming. And you might remember the middle of Immortal Thor, where he struggled with a group of classic villains and thought to himself, I'm way too powerful for this. Why am I even here? He's not too powerful for this anymore. So we're going to have to see how this man handles these way overpowered villains for what he is in these next couple.
I hope that's what they do. I hope we've seen the Cobra one and the Hyde cover, so I hope they just do Gargoyle and oh god, I'm blanking. What's the guy, that radioactive guy?
Yeah, him. It must be. That must be what they're doing.
Yeah, him.
I think we're going to get all 4 individually and then a big team up one that is simultaneously the end of this Blake arc. So it'll get like a nice, we'll be at 10 and they will have finished this part of the story. That's where I see it going. I'm
the radioactive man. I couldn't remember the name. I'm like, the radioactive guy. No, his name is radioactive.
So
radioactive
close.
Man. There you go. So close.
Chillian, what do you think? You excited for where we're going?
Yeah. I'm invested. I'm in, like a Knives Out movie. I'm halfway through, trying to figure it out, trying to figure where we're going, but I'm along for the ride, and I know all will be revealed. So pretty stoked on it. Now,
as we're going, I'm going to check in with you guys every so often on this, but we're 5 issues in now. Do you think at the end of Mortal Thor, we are going to get a Thor Odinson who is back? Or do we think that Sigurd is going to ascend to Thor? Or do we think a third thing is going to happen? What do we see coming now that we know that Sigurd's not really our guy in human form?
I think Sigurd's going to die, and I think it's going to be some kind of like a sacrifice that somehow then reincarnates Odinson, and it's going to be, sad, but it's got to feel powerful enough to bring back a god, right? So it can't just be like, oh, he turns into him, or he also comes back and then he's like there with him. So there's got to be some kind of a sacrifice, I think.
Okay. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm at the point, I do like where they're doing this and changing this up and telling a different kind of story, but I'm not demanding Thor come back just yet. I could see a few issues if this lingers for too long. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Let's get him back. But I also wonder in terms of sales and who this is the target audience for, and that's Thor fans and Marvel. Like, I also think behind the scene what the industry is doing, and we got Doomsday movie, and got bringing some old characters back. How long until they bring the old gang back to like publish and hope people get in the comic stores? I'm thinking of a marketing and from perspective too. I can't help but think that way in terms of reboots and new number ones and bringing classic characters back. I'm anticipating those things just because I've been reading comics for a long time, and I know that's the rhythm and the rhyme of what they do those things. So, but this is good storytelling. It's fun, and I'm invested. So, let's keep it going.
And you can do it for a while, right? Because like in the 80s and 90s and stuff, like you can have long stretches of time where Thor's missing or Eric Masterson is Thor. Like you can change up the status quo. It's only been 5 issues. This is nothing. Like we could easily get to a full year of Odinson being off the table. And in the grand scheme of things, that's going to feel like a blip on the radar.
What do you do with, issue 800? That's the thing. You know, how do you celebrate? What do you have happen? And
but like issue 800 can have a main story that's Magni ascending to the Allfather of Asgard, and then a bunch of backups that are set in the past, right? And that way you can get a bunch of celebration of Thor, and you still move the narrative forward. That's what I would do if I was the Allfather at this point. I think that what we're building up towards, just based on something that we read in JMS recently, Eric, is the way they brought Thor back that time after his Rune King escapades at the final Ragnarok. Was if one human believed in the gods, then they are real. And the human in that story was Donald Blake, who said, all right, well, if you need belief, I believe in you, Thor. And that was what he needed along with the Odin power to return. So I think that Sigurd is going to gradually build up faith in Thor over the course of his deeds as the Mortal Thor. And when he's finally struck down, enough, I guess, spirit energy will have been created that a triumphant God of Thunder Thor will return in some new way that's never been done before. Because we did learn from the Vidblane issue at the end of Immortal Thor that it has to be a path not taken by Odin or even Thor in the past.
And I think that's definitely plausible. And that is what I would call the clap if you believe in fairies approach that Peter Pan took with Tinkerbell. So I think if you believe hard enough, then Odinson pops back into existence.
I'll tell you what, guys, I believe. Okay, you two, any final thoughts on Mortal Thor 5, the direction we're going, anything else? Or are you ready to skedaddle on that rainbow bridge?
Time to skip across that bridge and head towards some Xmas fun.
I think the Mortal Thor run is I'm developing a tolerance to the amount of violence, and now I crave it. Now I'm like, bring me more violence.
He hasn't killed anybody. Oh, that is one more thing that's worth mentioning.
Bloodthirsty.
Odin being pissed that Sigurd killed people is excellent, because we were all like, what are we supposed to think about this? It's weird that he's just murdering these people, right? So it's good that Odin was like, why are you letting him kill people? What is happening?
That's a good point.
That's worth bringing up too. So it's good to see that Al also thought, man, Baz, Ryan, Eric, and Will are going to be really confused about this. I should probably clarify in a line of dialogue. Thank you for that, Al. That's great. Okay, guys, I think in that case, we're going to hop aboard this rainbow bridge. So whether you're being interrogated for a crime that you definitely did commit, but you were kind of standing your ground, and depending on what state you're in, that may or may not be allowed. Whether you are running a ring of people who call you, was it father or daddy? Something to the effect of that. I think it was daddy, like Mr. Blake, who just goes by Blake now. He hasn't been Don in a while. Whether you are squabbling with your child about their harebrained scheme to fix the world as it's unwinding, and your pet bird is making fun of them for their progress. Whether you're just trying to do the right thing with a bungee cord attached to a hammer. Just do one thing, and that is to stay worthy.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if it be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Bum, bum.
Dun,
Ba-dum, bum.
Bungee cord sound.
Thank you for clarifying. That could have meant a lot of other things.